I had no issues, I have to be honest, with any side, related to the Federation. My issues were more with other sides having nothing to do with the Federation. I just want you to know that. Yes.
Μια ερώτηση σχετικά με τους Evzones. Θέλω να ξέρω αν ως πρόεδρος έχεις ακούσει καταγγελίες ή φήμες ότι αυτοί που έφεραν τους Evzones εδώ, όχι μιλάω για τον Πίτερ, αν εκμεταλλεύτηκαν την παρουσία τους τρίτα άτομα σε διάφορα event με σκοπό να πάρουν χρήμα. Έχεις τέτοιες καταγγελίες?
No, I haven't heard anything like that. I did complain. I complained publicly, by the way. I complained publicly because I thought it was ridiculous that you had the Evzones go to.
Δεν μιλάω για τον Πίτερ.
Δεν μιλάμε για τον Πίτερ τώρα.
Μιλάω για όλα τα μαγαζιά που τους περιφέραμε δεξιά και αριστερά. Όχι μόνο εδώ, αλλά και σε άλλες πόλεις.
I haven't heard that and I don't know. I don't know. But all I can say is the following. I think that the parade, which was established in 1938, with the Evzones coming in 1949, etc., was always done a certain way where they controlled everything around that. That was their thing. And I just think that, assuming that everybody gets together, and I hope they do, that they just reinforce that and continue what happened before. Because things may happen, okay, if they're not controlled properly by the people who historically, are involved with like the Evzones, for example. I had an issue because I mentioned it publicly, about the restaurant and where the money went. That bothered me because I thought it was disrespectful to invite somebody where you can talk to them and then have the money to go to an organization which I love and I'm a member of, by the way, that has nothing to do with the parade or the Federation or anything like that. If they said, okay, the money will go to the Archdiocese, yeah, fine. The money will go to the Archdiocese. But, which in fact raised the money to put together the Evzones. I don't think anybody has a problem with it.
Well, I'd just like to say that in the past, when you had mentioned the history of the Evzones, it was up until 2018 that the Greek government would pay for them to come, covered the purpose. So it did present an extra problem to the Federation for those 2 years before the pandemic to pay for them. And as far as like taking advantage of them, I know there are, depending on the colonels and the officers that come with them, and in the past, they have been the ones who have put their foot down to say where they can go and what kind of appearances they should be making. Even going to the schools and dances. Someone put a stop to that because they thought that, they're not puppets and they're not for display. So I think that the people that are really in control of them are the colonels and the officers for the Evzones.
Miki, there's no doubt that the colonels, etc., are in control of the Evzones, but it's also the people who speak to them. Okay?
Yeah.
Because what do you tell them? You tell the colonels, hey, we're going to go to a restaurant.
No.
And we're going to have you there.
Of
and
course.
Somebody else is going to collect the money. So they were part of it.
Of course. And the Federation should be in charge of where they're appearing and if they have to appear someplace.
Listen, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. I hate to make this personal, but I'll make it personal. Okay? Talking about Bowling Green. The Evzones came up there in Bowling Green. Okay? And there was a couple of speeches, etc. And then when I went to speak, okay, somebody decided that the Evzones leave right at that second when I'm ready to speak. That was disrespectful to me and to the Federation. I know why it was done on purpose, and I can mention a lot of other things that were done on purpose with the Evzones. I'm not going to mention them here. But when you have other people who represent that they control the Evzones, to do things like they did this year, that should never happen again. Forget about me. It doesn't matter. I stopped. I went to speak. I stopped. I waited a minute or two till they left, and then I continued my speech. And it was okay. It was okay when they decided also, because I wasn't there, to start the parade and not have the chairman of the parade be in the line and be in no picture that has ever been demonstrated because they wanted to start the Evzones at that particular time. Hey, that's okay. It doesn't bother me. Talking about egos, it doesn't bother me. None of this bothers me. But that demonstrates that it's got to change. Who controls the Evzones? It has to change. because some of the things that took place should never have taken place.
Definitely, you're right.
One more question, please. The gentleman answered, the question was, how much costing the Evzones to come here? Nobody answered.
Let me put it to you differently, okay? It's about, I'm just making up a number. I'm making up a number. It's probably about 60, 70,000, but that's not the issue. That's not the issue. Understand what the story is. When you bring the Evzones in, you ask people to donate to the Evzones. That money is not given out by one entity. People donate to bring the Evzones here. So the fact that you would take over the Evzones doesn't mean that you're going to subtract from 100,000 another 60,000. That's not the way it works. Because money is raised for the Evzones. Now, the Evzones are very important. Very important for many different reasons, by the way. Besides the fact that we respect them and all the rest of that. They're extremely important. But there's no, if other people can raise money for the Evzones, I believe the Federation could raise money for the Evzones also. Again, that's just an opinion. I leave it to the Federation.
Okay.
Okay? We're good?
One more question.
Yes.
Οι εξέδρες ήταν το πιο λυπηρό σημείο που είδαν οι άνθρωποι στην παρέμβαση.
The what?
The grandstand.
Και επίσημη άδεια.
What happened?
Empty.
It was empty.
Empty. We spent $50,000.
The archbishop and a few people stayed till the end.
And all the left, the people.
The left.
Well, I think that goes back to what you said, by the way, that nobody got any tickets or anything. But here's what I have to say. Yeah, here's what I have to say to that. I agree with you, by the way. I was debating with people, why are we spending this money? They said, you have to spend the money, blah, 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 there's going to be all these people. I agree with you totally.
Why you should come?
No, not only that, why do we have the two sides? We spend, I don't know, like $12,000 for the two sides. Why we spend that money? We shouldn't, by the way. Now, in terms of who was there, etc., I was lucky to even be invited to a grandstand.
And we were lucky it didn't rain. Remember that.
didn't see you parade.
You didn't see me parade because they decided to start the parade without me. Why have the chairman there? It's not important. Anyway, thank you for the honor. Thank you.
Oh, did you mention this Sunday?